Hi boys and girls! Our next project is going to be a fall landscape. If you'd like to see pictures of the project, please click the black star on my Google slide and that will help you. I'm going to use a black Sharpie marker, but you should do pencil first. You could try going on right with marker like I'm doing, but remember you can't erase marker if you make a mistake. Okay, our goal is to show a realistic farm. So we want to have lots of pumpkins in the front going all the way out into the distance. So if this was real life and you were looking at something, the things up front, would they be larger or smaller than the things further away? If you said larger, you're correct. We're going to make a pumpkin farm, and we're going to see the larger or bigger pumpkins up close in the front, and then as the land goes off in the distance, the pumpkins are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So you're going to watch me begin. You want to make organic-like shapes. That means not perfect circles. You don't want to be tracing. We want our pumpkins to look realistic, and in real life, pumpkins are all shapes and sizes. Here's a small one. Maybe I'll do this one in the front. Okay, I made my first row of pumpkins. Now, as the pumpkins are seen off in the distance, they're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And feel free to pause anytime and work on yours, and then come back, and then continue following along with me. Okay, I've mostly filled in my second row. Now my pumpkins are going to get smaller and smaller, and I'm going to continue to about here, maybe about here on my picture, about halfway. Okay, now you're going to watch me on high speed finish my pumpkins. Remember, I'm not going fast, I'm speeding up the video. You are to go nice and slow and take your time, just like I'm doing. Okay, remember, for this to look realistic, we want our larger pumpkins to be in the front, and our pumpkins should get smaller as they go further off in the distance. Remember to take your time. It's not a race. Your pumpkin farm is going to look much better if you carefully draw each oval, half circle, whatever you want to call these. Next, you're going to watch me put some details on the pumpkin. Remember, if you look at a pumpkin, and please look at pictures if you click on my black star on my Google slide, but if you look, they have lines on them like this. And the lines are curved. They should not be straight lines. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Right here. So I'm going to start here. Maybe I'll put about 4 to 6 lines on each pumpkin. And I know this is a lot of work, but I want you to just have fun with it. Maybe listen to some music, relax. This is pretty mindless work, meaning you don't have to think too hard. I think this kind of art, we call it therapeutic, where it's nice and relaxing, and you just take your time, and you slowly and carefully finish your work. Again, you should use pencil and then go over it with a black pen or Sharpie if you have one. So you're going to watch me on fast forward complete this. Remember, I'm taking my time. Feel free to pause this video at any time and come back to it if it's taking a long time. And you're going to watch me finish. Every single pumpkin is going to get curved lines, curved details. Wow, that took me about 15-20 minutes to make all my curved lines. I hope you took your time, and I'd like you to look and double check that you didn't forget to put curved lines on any of your pumpkins. Wow, this really looks realistic, like a real pumpkin patch. It looks like you're standing in front of it and that the land is going way off into the distance, and the reason it does that is because the reason it looks that way is because the pumpkins are getting smaller as they are off in the distance. Next, we're going to add a tree in the background, and then we'll talk about color and finishing by coloring our pumpkins and coloring our sky. So for the tree, we want to make one lonely fall tree, and I'm going to go right on with marker, and I'm using a skinny Sharpie marker, one of these ones that look like a pen. This is a double-sided one. One side is the fine point, and then one side is the ultra fine or skinny, thin side. You can also just use a black ink pen or a regular black pen. Okay, so when you make your tree, we want it to look like fall. So that means the tree would be kind of scraggly, maybe blowing in the wind a little bit. The branches should be kind of a little sad looking because the tree has lost all of its leaves. And that's my fall, dreary looking tree. I hope you had fun creating your tree. And next up, we're going to talk about color. Okay, let's talk a little bit about color. As you can see, I have Crayola markers, I have crayons, oil pastels, colored pencils, I even have some paint. You want to use anything you have. I'm mainly going to use colored pencils for my pumpkins and some watercolor paint. And I'm going to make mine realistic, and you should too. That means you want to use real colors that pumpkins would be, like orange, maybe some red orange, some like rusty brown, maybe some dark yellow, maybe a little yellow with orange. These are all warm colors I just named, and they're the colors of pumpkins. Also, you don't want to just make each pumpkin a solid color, like solid orange, solid yellow. You want to try to blend colors a little bit. It's going to make your work look more 3D. Also, you can maybe have some of your pumpkins darker off in the distance because we'd have a hard time seeing all the way back here in real life. Maybe in the front or at the bottom, you want to make them a little lighter in the center, or maybe where one pumpkin is hidden behind another pumpkin, you make a little bit of a shadow. That's up to you. You're going to watch me blend different shades of orange together to make my pumpkins look 3D or more realistic. I'm going to start by taking orange and I'm going to color some orange very lightly. Then I'm going to take like a peach orange color. I'm going to blend it in. I might want to have a little bit of a shine, so I'm going to take some yellow and I'll add a little glow right here. Then I'm going to take that peach and blend back in. I'm going to zoom so you can see. I'm going to take a little bit of a darker, no, it's not darker, let's find a little bit of a darker orange, maybe like this one's a little bit darker. And in the shadow here, where this pumpkin is hidden behind the pumpkins in front of it, I'm going to make it a little bit darker orange. Okay. Now, if your pumpkin is rotting a little bit, you can use some brown. If maybe it's ripe, you want to use a little bit of green with orange, that's up to you. There you go. Then I'm going to take some, like, let's see, maybe like a red orange, and I'm going to darken my shadow here, and maybe a little bit of a shadow at the top. Now I don't want to leave it red, because that's way too red looking. I'm going to take this medium orange color, and I'm going to blend my red orange into orange, like that. So you want to take time and you want to carefully color your pumpkins and make them look realistic. Make sure you're coloring slow, coloring in the lines, not leaving spots behind. And there you have it. I'm going to take this peach color and smooth over what I did. It's a nice blending color. Look at that. Zoom out. That looks more like a realistic pumpkin that has light shining on it, or maybe it's a shadowy overcast day and we see all different shades of orange on that pumpkin. You're going to watch me finish this on high speed. Again, I'm going nice and slow. This is probably going to take me around an hour to color all these pumpkins in, and I'll see you back here in a little bit. Okay, let's talk about the sky. I want my picture to look like it's a dreary fall day. I also want it to look like it's about to turn into the evening. So I want to have a dark, almost stormy looking sky. So I'm going to stick to cool colors mainly, and maybe using some black. Cool colors such as blue and purple for my sky. I'm going to use watercolor paint, but you should use anything you have. I also am using thick watercolor paper. This is heavy paper made to hold water and paint. If you're just using thin, regular paper, you might just want to stick to crayons for this part, or colored pencils. Again, you can do any sky you want. You can do a sunset. Your picture can be early in the morning when the sun is rising. You can include a sun. You can include a moon. You don't have to copy me. Again, for mine, I want mine to look like it's a dreary fall, almost stormy day. So I'm going to stick to cool colors such as blue and purple, and maybe some black and gray. Okay, over the next few minutes, you're going to watch me paint my sky and finish my fall pumpkin patch landscape. And finished. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this. I hope you had fun making yours. And if you know how, please take a picture and submit it on Google Classroom so I can see it. All right, see you all back here next week.